Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. This historic highway was formed in 1915 by the Jefferson Highway Association. It runs from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's go! Everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Association show. We're so excited because last month was the conference out in Alexandria and Pineville, Louisiana, and there was a sociability caravan that went through Natchitoches and Shreveport. I mean, this was a conference of conferences, right, that happened in Louisiana. And it's not the first one for the Jefferson Highway Association in Louisiana. But next year, I was going to say next month. I'm like, let's go. Next year, it will be in Oklahoma. We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to get a recap of what happened at the conference, especially for all of us that missed it. Yeah, the ones, we didn't get to go and we're feeling really bummed about it. But I watched whatever I could on Facebook, and our friend Arlene Gould from Natchitoches Tourism got an awesome award. So I'm saying they had a good time. And whatever I saw on Facebook was people having fun, really experiencing history in a way that I don't think you get just regularly going there. It's just a different kind of immersive experience. So we're going to get a recap on that. We're going to talk about Oklahoma and the fact that the Jefferson Highway Association has its first state chapter, which is Oklahoma. So, of course, we've got Roger Bell, the president of the Jefferson Highway Association. Don't forget, keep up with all things Jefferson Highway. Go to jeffersonhighway.org, and on Facebook, you'll find them there. And then join the Facebook group, because that's where you get all the gossip, and it's good. So welcome back, Roger. How are you?
I'm good, Lisa. Glad to be with you again.
Hey, I'm excited because it sounds like the conference was just one of those off the hook. I think the last one and the one before, it's been good. These conferences are good. They're not boring and stuffy. When you think of a conference, it sounds like you're going to be in a hotel little lobby thing all the time. And did not look boring and stuffy to me whatsoever.
Exactly. And we really, we try to make it fun, interesting. We are not, some of us are historians. We like that thing, but the interaction with people is very good. And we had some great programs, but I had a gentleman talk to me today that went to the conference, and one of his comments to me was, you never know when you're going to go to some of these things, but he always looks like a good trip experiences when he has these memories of talking to people and making friends. And he just had so much of that here. And, I think the people that went to the conference, they interacted very well together. We had a lot of new folks. We had a lot of new people. They just kind of merged in together and just enjoyed themselves. And, our speakers were great also at doing that. So, it was definitely one of our strongest, if ever, our best conference. And, a lot of that just, I think is just the people just really got along really well with each other and really enjoyed the hospitality that Alexandria and everybody involved. And the caravan was outstanding. We had, it was awesome to get to meet Mr. James Burton, and that's not an experience a lot of people got, but our friend Arlene got that arranged for us, and he was just he's one of the most gifted guitarists in the world.
Yeah,
James
exactly.
Burton is one of the most gifted guitarists in the world. He's probably considered one of the top 25 guitarists of all time. He played, started out as a young man in 1957 when he broke out with he created the riff of Susie Q. And he played on the Louisiana Hayride at 14 years old, but he went on to play with Elvis, the Everly Brothers. Name it. He played with them all the way. It's like a who's who of who he has played with over the years, and he's still such a kind gentleman. So we really enjoyed our time there, and pretty much every stop on the whole trip went just according to plan. So it was really a good time.
Did you get to go to the Rose Garden in Shreveport?
We started off day one there. We dedicated a new sign to Ada Kimball, who was a pioneer of the Jefferson
Mm-hmm.
Highway as a woman. We had media coverage there from Shreveport, news channels there, and really a really kind and nice reception there. And the tourism staff of Shreveport, the executive director, everyone was there. So went really well. And then we had an evening of downtown where we had really fun and we did some interacting. We recreated a few things during the mingling of water ceremony that
I
occurred in
looked at,
19.
you know what? When I saw your photo on Facebook, I'm like, Roger, you're drinking it up over there. Like, what's going on? And then I read it. I was like, you go, Mr. President.
Yeah, I wrote that up, and then we each one took a role. So I took a role, and the other ones we were just we had to we had to twist a little bit of an arm a little bit a couple of times, but we got them all, and they really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with it, and so we reenacted that event that happened in 1917 at the same
Wow.
location, and then we had a great reception all the way into Natchitoches. And of course,
Meat
you've been to
pies.
Natchitoches, you know what it's like and what we dedicated another historic marker there. We dedicated another one or two in Pineville during the conference. So just we touched a lot of communities. We touched a lot of really good people, and we really enjoyed our time in Louisiana. I don't think anybody left there without having a good time that I'm aware of. They haven't told me
Now,
so.
when you're in Natchitoches, they've got the park there. So you went to the Jefferson Highway Park, which is, it's awesome that is a park that's designated as a Jefferson Highway Park. And
Yeah, we
well,
dedicated a new historic marker there, and
mhm.
we had a huge turnout from the community for that. I mean, there probably
Well,
was 75
Arlene's going to
people
get
at least.
everybody into
Yeah, oh
shape.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and
Uh,
she's retiring. I'm like, you can't. And she goes, I will,
yes,
but
it was.
she's worked so hard over the years and she's done such good things and we wouldn't know you without her. And, I just, there's people in tourism that work incredibly hard in the hospitality industry, the beverage
And
industry, all of
we
it's so
had
hard.
the previous podcast about our historic lodging association.
Hmm.
So we have we have quite a few in Natchitoches, probably because of Arlene's work, and we just spread ourselves out. So the bed and breakfast I stayed at, we had about 3 or 4 family groups there, or a couple groups, and then pretty much all the other ones did the same. So it was kind of good to spread it all out and touch these historic lodging partners along the route.
Well,
And of
I
course, we
love
did that
this.
at the Bentley. So
The Bentley, yes, that's a whole. Even if you say Bentley the hotel or Bentley the car, you kind of look up and like, ooh,
yeah.
it is. No matter how you look at it, but you did have a meat pie, Roger, right?
No, I did not.
Oh, you are going to make me come out to Oklahoma and bring you a meat pie if you missed one.
Now I did
Uh,
have
you,
strawberry icebox pie in
you
Shreveport.
wanted
So
that. I remember that. I remember you wanting that. Okay. Well, as long as you got what you wanted, that's good. That's good. I want to go to DELAINA Stevens. She is the president of the brand new Oklahoma chapter of the Jefferson Highway Association. So this is the expansion. I mean, we're talking about the bed and breakfast and the historic lodging part of the association. So there's all these different branches coming. When we started this podcast, it was, we weren't at the beginning of the revival of this Jefferson Highway, which was started in 1915. And again, for new listeners, the highway goes from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way to New Orleans, or you can say it's going from New Orleans to Canada, depending on which way you want to drive. You can do it all in one time. You can do it in whatever you want to do. And you can also explore off of the highway. But it's so cool because signage is going up across I'm not going to say across the states, but and down the states, I should say. It's not across. And it's exciting to see. Um, as you travel. And if you go on jeffersonhighway.org, you download that map. And I'm telling you, anytime I get anywhere near the highway, this association map hijacks my phone and tells me to get back on the highway. It's the weirdest thing that's happened to my phone. It's like a ghost that's possessed it, and it will be like, you can't go in Kansas, Oklahoma, anywhere, Louisiana. It starts going, no, you need to go here. And then I go and look, and it's putting me back on the highway. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know what I programmed or what I did, but do it. It's fun. But when you actually go through a town or a city that has these markers, and then there's some markers that are historic, it just, you feel like, wow,
You know,
this
we
is
did that to
amazing.
your phone, don't you? So,
You did
Yeah,
it
we did
on
it on
purpose.
purpose.
No, I harass Arlene and Roger whenever we're on the highway. I'm like, look at where we are. I tell them, like, I think we're going to go there. And then Nancy and I are like, we're doing it. And I'll start. And then Roger starts telling me, well, if you're there, you need to go here. And I'm like, well, we can't, because we're supposed to go here by this time. And he's like, well, no, you still need to go. He made me walk on the Iowa Falls Bridge. Like, Roger,
But
really?
that's awesome.
No, it is. It is. I'm just a baby, but I did do it. And I have photos for it. But DELAINA, welcome to the show.
Thank
I know
you.
this is not going to be your last time, but apparently you have a friend called Stinky. I'm just going to introduce you that way.
Well, thank you. Yes, thanks to Bottom, Texas, I have a stinky donkey in a bag.
Let the donkey out of the bag. Otherwise, that bag is going to explode. I'm just saying, if it's a stinky donkey, get it out of the bag. It needs some aeration. But yeah, no. So this is exciting. The Oklahoma chapter. So, why did you say I'm going to do this? Like, are you excited? Because it is exciting, isn't it?
It is
You're
very
making
exciting.
history.
My first trip was in 2019 to Natchitoches. I went to accept an award for the city of Chakotah. I was working at the Chamber of Commerce here, and I fell in love with the people that are a part of the Jefferson Highway Association. They are the most wonderful people, and they have all different backgrounds, and they're all different kinds of people, but they're all amazing. And because they all have one thing in common, they just all pull together. I'm sure they have numerous things in common, but for the Jefferson Highway, they just all pulled together, and it was, my family and I loved it, and we were hooked.
I agree. I mean, look, it's a rabbit hole.
And her daughter is the princess of the Jefferson Highway.
That's right.
Wow. Good girl. Like, that's awesome. You know what I want to say? I bring up that it was started in 1915 because, you know, when everybody thinks about a historic highway, the first thing is Route 66. And I'm not knocking Route 66. It's cool, and it is connected to the highway. And they're celebrating 100 years, but like Jefferson Highway's pretty much got some time on it. Is it the first travel route, Roger? Is this the first one? Like, it's the first international one. Is the Lincoln Highway before it? Where are we on that?
Lincoln Highway's before it.
Come on, Lincoln Highway.
There's a couple before us, but it north-south across the country, we'll consider it the first.
International. And yeah, international. It's North American Highway. So I've got to bring Billy Sumner on here. He is the vice president of the Oklahoma chapter, and he's also represents McAlester. And you got to go to travelmcalester.com. He's been on the show a couple of times. I can't even count how many times, but he's been on the show talking about McAlester. And go to their new website. It is beautiful. You will see, you're going to get hungry. As soon as I went on there, I'm like, oh, you got pretty nature. You've got all this history, mining history. You've got all this history. And then I'm like, seriously, there's food, there's beer. I'm just saying, I'll put it there. It looks yummy. So welcome back, Billy. How are you?
Thank you, Lisa. I'm doing wonderful, and it's as always a pleasure to be on the show. So thank you for having me back.
Well, you're the vice president, and you've got the president, and you got the other president. You got two presidents and a vice president. I feel like I don't know. We should have a TV show called Madam Secretary or something. I don't know, but let's not get into politics. But let's get into highways because they connect people, right? Travel connects and unifies, and I love that. And I love small town America. And you know what, everyone? May is Small Business Month. Right. So this is important. And our show is airing on Travel and Tourism Week. So this is very appropriate today, I think, because you know what? That's what we're talking about is travel and tourism and small business. And I think the Jefferson Highway is a huge part of reviving and helping small business be there. Wouldn't you say, Billy?
Oh, absolutely. And, I was actually just describing the Jefferson Highway to someone today and, talking about, being part of the Good Roads movement and early on in, the early 1900s and coming through with the connectivity across the roads across the country. Jefferson Highway was really the start of true tourism because with the automobile being invented and then making these roads connect different sections of the country, people weren't just going place to place for the needs and for the things that they had to. They started going out more for leisure and just travel and experience. And that is true tourism. And that's what the Jefferson Highway did through so many of these communities was promote tourism and promote that connectivity. And it's, coming right through today as well with what we're trying to accomplish.
I love it. I love it. And so are you excited that the 2025 conference is going to be in McAlester?
We are beyond excited. And, honestly, absolutely such an honor for McAlester to receive the bid to do that. And it was something that we were very, very passionate about. But honestly, again, talking about the state chapter, I feel like it's just a wonderful opportunity for the chapter in general to showcase why we were the first state chapter, what we're doing successfully, and where we're hoping to take all of the movement and momentum that we have going on right now in Oklahoma. Because with, yes, the conference being in McAlester, the sociability run will be coming through from the north of Oklahoma down to McAlester. So it's going to reach and touch all the communities along the route there. And then our hope is once we have a little tour and different things, we'll head south and touch the rest of it. So if everything works out the way we're planning, the entire state will be showcased during the conference. And I think that's a wonderful thing for all of the communities along the way and definitely really a highlight for the chapter and what we're trying to accomplish.
And Oklahoma has some insane history. I mean, like, I don't mean it like negative. I mean, insane. Like, it is so deep. It's so diverse. It's rich. It is like you are the land of rabbit holes. Or is it prairie dog? Do you have prairie dogs? Did I
We
see
do have prairie dogs.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma, anyway.
Yeah, that's it. So Roger, we're going down. If you go down a prairie dog hole, you're never coming out. It's like a whole town of that, right? But Roger, you've got to be excited as the president of the Jefferson Highway Association to see the chapter happen, the historic lodging bed and breakfast, arm of this also happen. And then a signage program. You've got a military convoy coming out in October. There's murals happening. So you're seeing the actual revival happen, and it's starting to, I think, over the last couple years, it's moving a little faster, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is, and it's my
Do you get
role
sleep?
is
'Cause you have a real job too.
changing because today I'm talking to folks in Iowa, I'm talking to you about Oklahoma, I talked to someone in Louisiana today. It's just it's evolving a lot, and we're just trying to kind of kindle these fires that are going and help these people get information and get them enthused. And, as DELAINA said, we want them to enjoy this. This can be a fun project, as we're building this back, community by community, building together and working together. And it is quite, and obviously I'm very proud and very excited to be in my home state of Oklahoma next year. And one thing we haven't got to talk about yet is our signage that I'm hoping to see the first sign when this podcast breaks here soon and goes live. Maybe we will have someone send me a picture. I put a post out there the other day to see if anybody or anywhere, any county or whatever in Oklahoma, send us a picture or post it when the signs start going up. And because we're expecting signage is being shipped out to ODOT offices along the state to start being installed at any time. So,
ooh, so I want to get into that a little bit, and I do want to go back to DELAINA and also Billy about their experiences in Louisiana and moving forward. But the signage program, I think, is actually one of the most important things because then you know you're part of this adventure, right? It is. I've talked about that on a show before when you travel in and all of a sudden you see the sign, you're like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm actually on the route. There's a thing and it's not always the main street you would think on. They'll take you on these little detours because cities and towns grew and changed, and that's part of the adventure is to understand what these routes were and historically. So communities from Winnipeg to New Orleans, how can they be part of the signage program? Do they start with the association and then do they go to the Department of Transportation? Because what I'd like to see is rest areas have this part of it because rest areas, they are really, I'm going to start putting them as parks now on what we do.
Well,
because
as you know,
they should be.
Iowa's totally signed. They're a state byway, and that's some of the group I was visiting with today is the state byway board. And but what we in Oklahoma, we will be the second state, but we're already looking ahead to what's next. But in the interim, if you are a community out there and just want to have signage and you're not in Oklahoma or Iowa, we have a really good program, and we've seen we've had Bonham on here. Bonham did their home signage through our program, and we also have done 2 or 3 other communities that way that have just said we want to do signage, and we have. It's very similar to the Oklahoma and Iowa main center of the signage, and it's good and it's up in a lot of places. So we'd love to talk with communities about that. But in Oklahoma, obviously, we've got a state signage program, and which is exciting. And we've also got the state, geared up to, help us in promoting it. And, just because the signs are up doesn't mean that, it's a great thing, but now it's the time to promote it, get people out, get people to discover the things that are on it, enhance part of it, and keep, and this conference is the convoy coming and the conference will be really good to establish that as we will get publicity and people to more understanding of what it is and what its future can be.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to go over to you, DELAINA, in regards to the Oklahoma chapter. Is that part of the mission of the chapter is to help people also with signage or also get like local businesses on board, like hotels, restaurants, shops, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. We have what we call directors for each. The way it's split up in Oklahoma, there's 3 counties and then 3 counties and 3 counties. So we have a northern, central, and southern director that they are in charge of those counties in order to get to know all the towns along the Jefferson Highway in their area and be able to help promote and find out who needs help and what we can do and just spread the word more for the Jefferson Highway.
So with them doing that, it means that you can go to city meetings, town meetings, and say, we want signs. We want people to start putting, like, become a member, put a Jefferson Highway sticker on your shop door, that kind of thing. And to get more in the community, go to chamber mixers, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So we get to knock on city doors, Billy.
Absolutely. Well, and going back to kind of what DELAINA was saying there, that's what those directors, they're going to be helping us. They do sit on our board as well. And we all work together, but having that extra leadership and those extra people out there with more of the boots on the ground feel in those communities that they're close by is a really big help to the entire chapter in general, because yes, we have the state signage that is done through ODOT and through the state, and that's wonderful, and that's going to be up and coming, as Roger said. but we still have, signage that needs to go up in communities to designate historic sites and be able to let people know about the different places inside. And we want to drive membership and get people excited. And like you said, have those signs and stickers and things up in the windows and get more people seeing and talking with the JH out there and knowing what that means, not just seeing it, but educating them on what it is and what our mission is going to be. So it really is a team effort on trying to bring all this together. And I've been so proud of what we've been able to accomplish even in such a short time frame. And it seems like every time we're meeting and getting together, our group is just growing and more interest and more people coming in, being excited, and not even just businesses, but community members just within those where we're
just
having the meetings at.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of individuals coming through that just want to help promote it, asking, what can we do to support you? So it's really encouraging to see these communities get behind us. And we're so thankful for that support out there. And I know that as we continue with, like you mentioned, the military convoy coming in October, then we're going to be having all of the stuff with the conference coming out and all of that happening next June. There's just so many opportunities. DELAINA and I have talked about how we're going to get out into different events within the communities and have tables to educate people and just be a part of those so that they know that the Jefferson Highway is there to support the communities and encourage involvement and bring us all together. So it's really just an exciting time and such momentum that's going on right now.
I think it's exciting because, like I said, Oklahoma has so much history. It's got so much music history. There's just so much to your state. And I was talking, I did a previous recording today with a gentleman from Veneta, Oklahoma. And I'm like, you're in Veneta. You got to go to the Highway Cafe. He's like, I told you I've been there and it's great. And he's like, Guy Fieri is there. I'm like, yeah, but it's on the Jefferson Highway. And he's a national park traveler. His name is Don. Don and his wife, Shelly, they run a park chat on Twitter. And I'm like, well, let me send you on a rabbit hole and go look at the Jefferson Highway. Cause he's like us. He's one of, I'm just going to say, once you do it, you're one of us, right? It's like,
that's right.
It's not a cult. It's not a cult, but it is you just can't stop with the stories. And that's, he started his park travels and did a whole thing and still does it. This park chat he has on Twitter is every Wednesday and he does it every week. And it's all park lovers and we all go on there and we're going to host one and everything. And he was like, no, we can't stop. None of us can stop. And this is healthy stuff. We have all these issues in the world. This is a good thing to be hooked onto. This
Absolutely.
is a good thing for families to be hooked onto. This is where people can reunite and just start fresh with something nice and look at the history. You guys have some of the craziest outlaw history in Oklahoma. You have Native American history. You have Civil War history. I mean, oh my gosh, Honey Springs is some of the craziest Civil War history I know of, and
biggest battle fought in Indian Territory.
It's wild.
Yes.
And you want to be everywhere at once. That's the problem. So the chapters, let's go to DELAINA with the chapters. Are you seeing like a website where people can go in and see who's a member and the local community can be part of, like maybe doing events? What is it going to look like for us as travelers coming through that the chapter can represent? Or is it more of like a tourism kind of everybody connect to make it work for travelers?
What great questions you have. So yes, of course, we want to promote tourism and we want to promote our tourism people that are in those jobs in order to help people on the Jefferson Highway. I know that there's been some, Roger, I'm going to mess up the name of them. The tourists go.
Visitor centers?
Oh, tourist centers. Yes, tourist centers.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So I know that they've set some of those up. The association did that before we became a chapter.
Okay, wait. So this is different. This is actually a really good point because I see that on the Jefferson Highways group and everything you guys talk about tourist centers, which is typically not a convention and visitor bureau like Natchitoches CVB, Natchitoches Tourism. That is like a different thing, and it's different than what you have, Billy, with Travel McAlester, right? So these tourist centers are going to be wherever someone wants to be the hub. Am I
I'll be
getting this
honest.
right? Or both
I'm
can be
not
it.
picky. Yes. I mean, the more the
Don't
merrier.
be picky. Yeah, let's
I am
have
the
a
more the
party.
merrier. Let's just get everybody involved. So anywhere they stop in your town or the next town down, they know what's going on, and every single person in the town can tell whoever they see about Jefferson Highway.
Oh, I like this. So Billy, are you guys going to be a tourist center, or are you?
We would definitely love to be. I think again we have such
You're a city,
aspirations
though.
as
You're a
a
city. Yeah, you're a
yes,
city.
I am part of the city, but we have such aspirations, I think, as a chapter. So, going from the top down, of course, like Roger said, we definitely want the state to help us promote things kind of hand in hand like they do Route 66. So we definitely see some state promotions and, state information out there. I know DELAINA and I would love to see, us obviously have a Facebook presence, a website for Oklahoma, each of our communities highlighted on there, hopefully coming up with a brochure, a map specifically for Oklahoma as well too, that's interactive where people can see and know what to do and where to go. So yes, there's a lot of things in the work. We're still kind of that new chapter. So we've got a lot of our board and organization done and moving forward with what we need there. But there is a lot of goals on the marketing side and the promotion side. And again, we have some very talented people that's on our board and coming in that are just wanting to partner with us that man, the sky's the limit with what I think you're going to see Oklahoma be able to accomplish. And we're really, really passionate about that because that was one of our goals too, that if we were going to step up and be the first state chapter, we really wanted to set a positive example about what could happen and where this could go so that others would follow suit. And I mean, perfect example, like Roger was saying, even with the signage, we looked at Iowa we looked at our signage and how we approached the state. The examples that they had done and what they had already put up is the way we approached our state in trying to make sure they would support us and have that same signage that looked, similar, but also had the Oklahoma feel to it at the same time so that we can hopefully progress, but we have a togetherness within the highway. And we hope that other states will follow suit on that. And like Roger said, whether it's a state jumping in or some communities saying, hey, let's signage our areas, I think it just takes people jumping out there and starting the conversations.
Yeah, because
I think
it's going
one
to be
thing
different.
the chapters is just, I mean, it's an evolving. I mean, they're kind of Oklahoma's kind of the guinea pig here. They're moving, doing things. They've come up. It's amazing how far that this come in this short time. And now they have to establish goals and go out, but they also can't. They can't do everything at once, and they have to pick where their energy can best be served. And with the conference coming up and the convoy, that obviously is also going to take some of their time, but it's a good opportunity to gain some of this marketing and tourism as people can see people coming to the conference and start identifying the signage here and stuff like that. So it's all evolving, but we're really excited. And this hasn't happened overnight. A lot's happened recently, but Billy and DELAINA and I both remember going to Oklahoma City and talking with the Lieutenant Governor and Director of Tourism and having the bill signing in Oklahoma at the state capitol. Wow. That was a few years ago. It takes time. But our momentum is growing right now.
Yes, it is.
I think this is really big because it connects Oklahoma to the other states when people are traveling. And I feel that about everywhere and anywhere because we always say, like in tourism, right? Like we'd always try to tell people there's this 3-hour span. And Roger, I know we've talked about that with you too, right? So yeah, people go to a destination, they get to a destination, but along the way, come on, stop, do this, do that. The tourism starts from your hometown, and the power of the tourism dollars starts in your town. And because you're going to get your car done, some of us get our hair done. Some of us get a new pair of hiking boots. That would be me. Some of us buy new music, whatever, for a road trip, right, Roger? And some of us get another, stuffed toy that may be a donkey, a sock monkey, or what have you. But we spend money on tourism in our own hometown before we leave our hometown to go somewhere. That's the power of tourism. And most of the time, we're actually helping small businesses while we do it. Even if you're making your own sandwiches to go on the road, you're helping a grocery store, helping the clerks there, you know. I'm not going to say I think scanning your own groceries is great, but anyway, I won't go there. But if when you look at it, you leave there, you start down the highway, whichever way you're going to go. Maybe you're only going for a weekend, so you're doing a few stops. But you have this 3-hour span of what you want to see. You could spend a day on the highway, a day off the highway. You're connecting people. You're connecting people 3 to 5 to 6 hours east and west, north and south, no matter how you look at it, no matter how they're coming onto the highway. This is a huge thing. And it's not just helping local, it's regional, it's national and international, your effect. So like when I talk about that, so our European traveler friends, right, who love and understand road tripping, sometimes better than I think us Americans do. They love it. They understand Americana. They love it. But guess what? They're spending money in their country for their trip to come here. So this is globally reaching. It's so important. I know Route 66 has chapters in Europe, and friends of ours run some of those. So it's like, I see it going that far because it makes sense.
Well, we're starting to see some interest from European countries. We've had some discussions with some folks from England in the last month or two. We've had a gentleman in Germany visiting with us. These same people are they're getting some of this info. Some of them are getting it when they're traveling Route 66, and some of our partners are helping get information, and they're discovering us. And you're right. They love the Americana road trip. It's a big thing. It's the culture on our route is much different than Route 66. Maybe I'm biased, but I think overall the culture is better on our route. It's much more diverse.
Ooh, Roger.
Route 66.
I agree with you, Roger.
I enjoyed my time on Route 66, but
what does Stinky say?
Stinky agrees with Roger.
You look and you're in Minnesota and you see the pines, and you can be there where the Mississippi River starts, and then you can end up in New Orleans and the culture there, and see where the Mississippi River goes.
We're gonna be doing New Orleans this year. We're doing New Orleans this year. And I have a big birthday this year, and I'm going to be spending it in New Orleans.
Well, you better go down and take your picture with the end of the Jefferson Highway marker.
Arlene will be called, even if she's retired. I'm like, girl, come on, because that's your Mardi Gras spot. You got to take us. No, we will be there. And so we have done Minnesota. We just haven't touched over to Winnipeg yet. But that's the thing. You'll never run out of things to see and do. I mean, Nancy and I could stop all of our podcasts and magazines and just do this, and we'd never run out.
Well, and some things are obviously there from the past, but just like Route 66 evolves, so does the Jefferson Highway. So like you mentioned, we got a new mural going up right now in Plattsburgh, Missouri. They're painting it. We've got Pryor, Oklahoma is working on. We'll eventually have a Main Street deal where they're going to have an entryway with Jefferson Highway deals. In Nevada, Iowa, they have a brand new bridge there that has a really cool Jefferson Highway stuff on it, including
it's pretty amazing.
Like a car crossing the bridge. Those weren't there, but they're there. Why? Because they are honoring the legacy of the history of the highway. So that will continue to evolve as we go forward, and we certainly want to embrace that in our.
I don't want to get off topic, but I want to ask if you guys all saw the photos of Mason City during the Northern Lights, where they had Buddy Holly's glasses. And the Oreo. Yeah, did you guys see that?
Like that picture? Yeah, I shared that picture.
That's pretty cool.
That was cool. And we hadn't, believe it or not, we saw, some of us saw the Northern Lights down here.
And
Yes.
the Jefferson Highway was part of the eclipse too.
Yes.
Think about that. Isn't it amazing? Like, that's what I'm saying about the span of what this highway does. These, but Oklahoma, I'm excited for you guys, but I want to go to each of you. Billy, I'm going to start with you about this because Roger got to talk about the conference, and DELAINA, I want to see how you felt about it because it's coming to your state next, right? So,
Yes.
Billy, tell me what you enjoyed from the last conference and what you want to see happen at the one that's happening for you in 2025.
Absolutely. Well, this year was my first conference that I was able to attend, and I was very, very excited about that. And at the same time of being able to attend it and experience it, it was such an honor to go down, and we did a surprise announcement with with Oklahoma being named and McAlester being the host city for 2025. So we did a nice video presentation and surprise there. So I was really excited just to get down. The networking was amazing. The hotel was beautiful beyond words.
Gosh.
The Bentley. Are you talking about the Bentley again?
Yes,
Is this
the Bentley.
Not the
And
Bentley, the Bentley. Yeah.
The food for Louisiana, as you could tell from the website, as you said earlier, for our website in McAlester, we love food. So the food and hospitality that Louisiana showed everyone, I told them during kind of our acceptance speech for next year that we had big shoes to fill, and I really meant that. They had done a wonderful job on hosting the conference. The speakers and presentations were fabulous, and more than just educational, they were fun and interactive, and it was really great to just experience all that. I think it was a wonderful conference for me to experience for my very first one. And what was so great is after we were announced, so many of the partners throughout Louisiana that put the conference on came up to me, and they were so humble with the way we experienced things, and also told us that they were there to help us in Oklahoma. So that was very appreciative of how much they said, hey, this is not a competition. This is all of us working together. So please reach out. Please call us. If we can help or give any tips or tidbits, we will be more than happy to do so. So I know we will be reaching out to them. And I know you mentioned that Arlene was retiring. I already told her there's no way she's going to retire. We just can't let that happen.
No.
She's going to at least be involved with us forever. So
she's a sweetheart. But I wanted to say that because, when I look at what's happening for Oklahoma right now, and obviously Roger's in your backyard, and how does this Oklahoma thing start to come together? I'm just saying, Roger. I know he's got some little pushy fingers to make things happen. I mean that nicely, Roger.
I have some big goals for 2025 for the conference too. We've kind of sat and talked, and I'll just put it out there in the universe for, recording now at this point, but we want to set the attendance record for the most attendees ever at one of the conferences. So that is one of our goals, is we want to really showcase
Oklahoma. Do you have the hotel rooms for it?
We do. In Oklahoma and McAlester, we have 16 hotels. So we've got over 1,000 hotel rooms. We can accommodate quite a bit.
Woo-hoo!
So yeah, we can definitely do that. So, I do.
You want to do a challenge. Cause I thought when you were talking, and I was sitting there going, okay, Billy's okay, we got McAllister's going to be the conference, and then we got a chapter. We got our own Oklahoma chapter. I kind of felt this, we got it. But at the same time, it's we got it. It's exciting, but it's not, like you said, not competitive. It's exciting.
Right.
Not we got it, we got it first, It's, we got it. Yay, hooray, let's move forward. Let's all work together. So if another city in Oklahoma said, hey, come on, we want to be part, you would help them, right?
Oh, absolutely.
To help you
in a heartbeat.
Just like we were talking about how this whole route works is about everyone coming together, because tourism only works when people share. And a traveler doesn't know when they've crossed a state line half the time, or a county line. I actually just realized today I don't know what county I'm in, because my weather thing keeps telling me I'm in this county and that county. Depends on where I am in the forest. And then I'm okay. So, travelers don't really know, and they certainly don't care about the politics, So when there's unity, and I think that's the thing about the sign, it brings us all together.
Yes,
it does. And I think it's just,
that's weird, isn't it? But it's true.
It is a family, togetherness. And that's what I think the communities and the states and the chapters and everything can easily work together, just as, as partners, as a family, and as a unit. And it is wonderful, the support that we have gotten from so many other, groups and towns and communities, not just in Oklahoma, but like I was saying, even from Louisiana, where we had the last conference, and all up and down the Jefferson Highway. So, for Oklahoma, I think one of the other goals I have is we would love for the conference. I mean, it's an obvious one, but we have to highlight the Native American history and heritage in the area.
Yes, we do.
When people come to the conference next year, they're going to be expecting that. So we have to be able to live up and showcase what we experience and what we see in the history we have on that side. And I think that's another unique thing that you will experience in Oklahoma versus other places as well.
Huge. It's really huge, because it's like you're showing the Southwest part, right? It's like and it's a different Southwest feel. It's different even than Texas Southwest. It's just different. It's like the Midwest, Southwest meet at one place. And when you're there, you get it. You just don't get Oklahoma until you go, and you can't just drive through. And don't speed. You'll get it. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
OHP don't play.
Don't. You just got to watch. You got to watch those signs. I almost got it today here in North Carolina too. They do it here in these small towns. Trust me. I was like, oh, uh-oh. But yeah, I want DELAINA, going to the Louisiana conference, this again shows the unity of the highway. This was kind of a full circle moment for you, going to the one in 2019. And then now you are you're now the president, Madam President of the Oklahoma chapter. And you went to now your second conference, right? This year.
Oh, that was my fourth conference.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
I'm okay. Sorry. I hate to be that way, but I mean,
big full circle. Yeah, no, I'm just laughing, but no, that's a big full circle then. Okay.
Yes, we go every year. That is literally what my family does for vacation. We go to the Jefferson Highway Conference. Yes. When we don't know what to do, when we're trying to figure out something fun for a day, we travel the Jefferson Highway, different towns. Jump out in the car and take off.
Okay. What is the age span of your family group that does this?
Okay. So my husband is 40 something. I'm 40 something, and my kiddo's 14. Soon to be 15.
Sweet. That is sweet. Isn't that perfect? Billy, that's good, right? She's got good
absolutely.
Demographics. we want your demographics.
You got them, girl.
No, but that's cool. But now look at this. So now you're into it as history, and most people would kind of write off our age group of that. I'm now getting older than your age group now, but it's true. They kind of write us all off. But look at what you're doing. That's awesome.
Yes.
And
so
her daughter really enjoys it too.
Yeah,
she does.
He really does.
Yeah. So how old's your daughter, Roger?
No, not my daughter. I said DELAINA's daughter.
Oh,
really, she had her 1920s outfit, worked on it beforehand.
Oh,
she made her
own.
She helped.
I saw her. Yeah, I saw her on
She
Facebook.
worked on some of the items for the banquet with her mom, and her mom is now our official JH pole painter. And
I've earned that.
Wow.
So and over 100 of them bad boys.
Wow. Really? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, I shouldn't say Meadow did help, so
that's what it said, and we laugh at her being the princess of the Jefferson Highway, but that happens to be at a previous conference where she helped reenact an event, and that was her title at that time, was Princess of the Jefferson Highway. So I've been calling her that ever since, and she loves it. So
she does. She does love it.
But I love this.
She wanted it on her name badge.
I love this. Look at all these youth stories we've been able to cover. This is kind of amazing to have the youth. I mean, look in Kansas. Look at. Right. I love this. I love seeing the youth get involved, because it's kind of ownership of your community and ownership of your country. Like, not ownership like I own it, but like you're feeling pride and connectivity would be it.
Yes.
And understanding. And that's how they're going to learn history.
What I found is the younger folks, if you can get them out to discover history, reading in a book, that's, but you actually get them out, let them see things, let them enjoy being with other folks, and you'll see that they'll enjoy it about as much or more sometimes than other folks will. Just it's just something about that's the thing about our caravan and our bus tours. There's a lot of camaraderie, but people are learning while they're going. I mean, one of our stops was at the Phelps house where the 12 years a slave started.
I went there, yeah.
And I don't know how many. I'm sure people had they probably knew there was a movie or book out, but a lot of our folks didn't really know the history, and a lot of that was brought to them during that bus tour. And it's the same way on most of these things. It's discovering things. It's an adventure. It's
when you go to that house and you hear about, is it Solomon Northrop?
Yes.
I'm thinking, yeah. When you go to that house, and we were there, at the beginning of our tour when we first went in Natchitoches, it was 2014. 10 years ago, and you learn that story. And what was great was they actually had an LSU student interpreting.
Well, we had reenactors reenacting both, and
wow.
One of them was the
lawyer that helped him.
Well, he was the parish lawyer.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's
but it's crazy because he was basically kidnapped.
They brought it to life. That's
but
what
I was thinking,
really
like
helps kids a lot.
Kids learn. Yeah, the reenactment does help, but when they learn that story, they're like, man, I thought being grounded was bad. This was like serious grounding,
right?
And it has to be put in that way. So I'm thinking, Roger, we need how national parks have the junior ranger program, just kind of thinking we need a Jefferson Highway activity book. And maybe you could start with the chapter in Oklahoma. I'm just saying. Sorry.
What?
DELAINA, what do you think?
You can take that challenge. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I think it would
really
be a
like
cool
that
challenge. Like, like where they learn what the minerals of the state itself, even just learn what the state flower is, the state song,
Yes.
Well, Lisa, and I think you touched on, talking about the things happening in Kansas. I absolutely loved that we had a Young Ambassador Award this year at the conference. And I think seeing these young kids start getting involved, and again, not only history, but just the excitement and things that you can see along the highway was very encouraging, because that's what we need to keep this going, is continued involvement and people coming up that wants to, join in and experience this and learn about it and then help out along this throughout the communities. And so I love the Young Ambassador program. And I think anything else that we can do to continue to get kids really excited, especially in this day and age when it's all electronics. And I have 4 kids myself, so going out on family trips and vacations can be hard, but there is so much you can find along the highway that for all ages. And I think that helps bring that back, where kids are starting to put down some of those things and really start to experience just being in the moment and being in these places, whether it's festivals or events or just nature in general, or what they're seeing within the communities, and having fun with their families as they travel.
Well, I'll tell you, Nancy and I have done some crazy trips on the Jefferson Highway that were unplanned, spur of the moment, because if we could, we did it. You know what I mean? We just got in the car and went. And we found insane I should stop saying this word. Insane is apparently my new word. That should just be directed at me. But amazing places, parks, and when you talk about families, I mean, 4 kids, we need to look at a budget show now, budget travel on the highway, because if you have 4 kids, you better find something that is budget friendly, because you can, I don't care where you're going in the country or in the world, you need to have budget friendly for families. And I think, Roger, guess what? We got a new podcast episode coming up, budget friendly Jefferson Highway, because again, small businesses, taking your kids into a mom and pop shop, finding the diner, the real diner, the old school diner. Come on, as kids, we love that stuff, and going into just an ice cream shop. God, not the other things, the real ice cream shop. I'm just saying,
Yes.
Let's do some real stuff with our kids and find some budget friendly things for families. We know it's out there, and there's plenty of parks that you can, as travelers, that's why we do what we do with parks. And we actually really advocate for community parks, like the one in Natchitoches, Louisiana, the Jefferson Highway Park. You can stop, let your kids run around a bit, have a picnic in the gazebo, or whatever you need to do. But travelers with kids, Billy, am I right on this? You need to let your kids run before you even take them in the hotel.
Absolutely. And, you were just, like you mentioned,
like the dogs, sorry.
Exactly where my head went.
Uh-oh.
And like you said, grabbing, some sandwiches and just having a quick picnic. And I can't tell you how many times, it doesn't matter where you're at. If there's a playground, my kids are more happy to run around and play on the playground than if I was going to spend a lot of money somewhere else. They just want to experience and have fun. So, getting back to those kind of moments. And those are the things I remember when I vacationed with my family, is just slowing down when I was younger and looking back on those moments. And it wasn't about the expensive things that we went off and did and how much money mom and dad spent, because we definitely didn't have it back then either. I'm 41 this year. So many years ago, we didn't have that, but it was definitely those memories and those little things. And I think getting back to some of that stuff, and you see that all over the highway, up and down the route, everywhere you go. Gosh. I mean, it's so much out there that people don't even realize. And like you said, it's really just taking that spur of the moment and just taking that opportunity to go experience.
Yeah, and now I'm down another prairie hole, prairie dog hole, because now I'm just thinking we have to do a whole family travel show on the Jefferson Highway. And it's kind of like a no-brainer, but it's something we need to do. So families know where to take your kids, because it's true. There's all the, fast food places and everything. I'm not knocking them, but if you can go to a mom and pop place, that's cool. If, there's parks that are great places, there's the right hotels too. And, we should do that. All right. This is cool. DELAINA, anything special for you from the Louisiana experience that you just had at the conference that you want to see happen next year in 2025? Everyone, June 4th through 7th, it's going to be at McAlester.com. That's the website for that, and jeffersonhighway.org. Just have to give a plug, but DELAINA, because I want to. But DELAINA, anything you wanted to see from Louisiana that really impressed you?
Well, I do want to add, so the Bentley Hotel is absolutely remarkable, and I love the fact that it's still open, it's still operating, that to me says so much, just because history, it's history for a reason. And it's so sad when people aren't able to keep a business going for as long as that place has been going. But I want to say, they treated us so special. They had a street dance right out in front of they shut down the road in front of the building, which, a lot of times there's a whole bunch of things that you have to do that people don't even understand when you close a road down in a city. And then in 2019, I didn't realize this at the time, but I was told at this conference, we were all allowed to have our a lunch on the second floor of the Bentley. And that's unheard of. They don't do that. So it was special for our group. And that is what makes Jefferson Highway so cool, because not only do you see things that you've never seen before, you participate in things that you'll never get to participate in again.
That you're not going to see as a regular traveler. Like the conference opens up doors, and you've got historians coming out to speak to you, and, people all connected in that passionate way. And it's a special experience that it may never ever happen for anybody ever again. You never know.
Exactly.
They could have said you guys were a rowdy bunch. We're never doing that again, but you got to enjoy it. So that's cool. So what kind of experience do you think, Billy, for hotels in Oklahoma when in McAlester for the conference? I mean, I know it's early, but I'm just prodding. Do you have historic hotels?
That is where I will 100% admit, and we told this to everybody as well too, that's where we do fall short, honestly, in McAlester and across Oklahoma in general. Roger's talked about with our historic lodging. We just don't have a lot of places right on the highway that are still hotels. Like I had a perfect period hotel that was the Busby Hotel back in the day that was right on the highway, and it's now our courthouse. So there's a lot of places that are still standing, but you can definitely visit. Unfortunately, we just can't stay there. So a lot of the places,
I don't want to stay the night in the courthouse. I'm okay with that. You know what's next after that.
I definitely don't want to be one of the people that do get to stay there. So So we do have some great, lodging places that we will utilize. But I think the best thing that we'll be having is the different sites where we'll hold some of the conference activities, and definitely our banquet and different stuff. We're looking at a lot of historic places that fit more of what we look for with the Jefferson Highway. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're going to tie in that history element there in McAlester. So it won't be anything like the Hotel Bentley was on that experience, but I promise the other experiences. Yeah, the other experiences will definitely make up for it, and we'll definitely bring that same level of hospitality that we found there in Louisiana.
Well, I think the military convoy is going to really help coming through, then get everyone like united and together. I think that's going to be something. And then I want to go, Roger, is there going to be a sociability caravan run? On this
that's what
conference?
Billy kind of alluded to that. We don't, we're just now starting to come up with some creative ideas, and I can guarantee you there'll be some creative elements in Oklahoma that will make it fun. And I've already got a couple of brainstorms in my head, and Billy's I know got a few things for us. And the bus tour is going to be really fun going south into places like Atoka and Durant, so and into Choctaw Nation. So.
Are we going to get to see Reba McEntire?
Oh, you could. You never know.
You never know. You could have Reba McEntire and Carrie Underwood, all in the same. And there's other Oklahoma artists,
Well, they're not just Oklahoma artists. They're actually from the highway town. So it's
that's what I meant.
Even cooler.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring it.
We'll have some creative elements. We've got, and we may not have. The historic lodging, but we definitely have some historic and very unique eating places. So,
but that's the thing. Each state, and each place, each city, each town is its own unique thing, and there's a reason why, right? So, everyone, come on, that's the thing. It's exploring and finding out each place's flavor, literally.
Well, you wouldn't think McAlester would have the elements that it has, but it has a strong Italian heritage nearby, and there's a lot of miners settled there. So, there'll be some Italian food, I'm guessing, Billy, right?
I hope so.
You can't come to McAlester and not have some type of Italian food as well.
Well, I'm hungry right now, so I'm ready. I'll never say no to Italian food. Heck no. My goodness. No, bring it. Well, it sounds wonderful. Nancy and I were talking about this today, and, it's just so exciting to see the growth. And even, when we first started doing this podcast, then we started traveling the highway, and then we started seeing more signs and more things. And it's exciting to see the rebirth of this highway that unites 3 countries, well, 2. Because I just feel like we should still go to Mexico somehow, just because I used to live there. But I don't know. Can we just take a detour? Come on, go back to Arizona and then to Mexico from there. But no, it just
you say that, and I'll say this quick comment. Someone that was intending to come was going to come to our conference and would have been there without some issues. One of the comments that I got in my correspondence with her is from afar, away from a different part of the United States, made a comment that what she was really intrigued and excited about is all the activity and momentum she saw on this Jefferson Highway compared to things. So the word is getting around, and that was somebody we didn't really even know. I'd never really touched before. So the word is getting around, and it's going to get around in Oklahoma. That's I know with these two, they're involved, and also the great leadership, the group. They really put together a good group, and I know we're going to get the word out here, and it's going to 2 or 3 years now. We're going to look back and really be proud of what they've accomplished here.
I can't wait. I'm excited. So I'm going to make this work. I've got to make this work for Nancy and I to be there for the conference. I'm going to.
Okay, well, we're marking
Billy,
you down.
Billy, you and I got to talk.
I already told her she had to be there. So
yeah, I've got to look at what's going on in our schedule, because we get hooked in all directions. But
we can have a
Oklahoma.
live podcast from the floor. See,
Oh my God, wouldn't that be awesome?
We can incorporate
totally
you guys
do
right
it.
into it.
Yeah. And like we could come
Never done
beforehand
that
too. We'll come. Oh, I got ideas. You know how my
Yes.
brain goes. I'm going in the prairie hole. That sounds weird. In the prairie dog hole. Whatever.
You just
I'm
make
going
it down here to
prairie dog town.
McAlester, and I'll treat you good, and we'll make sure you get whatever you need. So.
I know Oklahoma, and I know McAlester is going to be awesome. We will be there, and you'll probably see us this year. So we might have to do like a pre-broadcast or something. What do you think, Roger? Pre-broadcast from Oklahoma. I think that might be fun. We might have to do. We'll do it. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and kudos to everything you're doing to really make this work for the highway. I think it's exemplary, and you're doing good work for tourism. Like as I said, across the country and around the world, because anybody that goes on the highway started their tourism dollar from there to there, and this is responsible tourism. It is about history. It's about nature. It's about travel. It's about family. It's wonderful. Small business. It's responsible. We talk about transformative tourism now. Transformation. Like when you go somewhere, it changes you. Well, maybe your family was part of the highway. Maybe it's like, hey, we did something different than, it transforms you. It creates true memories. Regenerative is when you give back. So maybe this is part of the thing. As you talk about local communities wanting to be part of the chapter, that is part of it. You don't have to be a business to join and be part of this movement. It's about travelers and communities. And you want to talk about travel, getting to know the locals is always best. This is one of the ways. So jeffersonhighway.org, check it out. Go join Facebook and join their Facebook page, but then their group. That's where everybody communicates. It's awesome. It's a wonderful friend. It's probably the friendliest group I've seen. Honestly, we all know Facebook groups can get wonky, but you guys are friendly and cool. Everybody's there for a unified kind of conversation. So go do that. And also go to travelmcalester.com. That's McAlester, travelmcalester.com to keep up with them and check out their new website. It makes you hungry. It's just saying. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you for joining us here on the Big Blend Radio Jefferson Highway Show. The show airs every fourth Thursday, and we encourage you to go to jeffersonhighway.org to learn more about the Jefferson Highway Association or even become a member. You can also dig into the history of the highway and share travel notes with friends at the Jefferson Highway Association Facebook group. Follow our shows at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels!